Hey, Shalom. Shalom. So let's check this, bro. Let me see if I can hear myself. Yep. Hear myself. Shalom. Shalom. Great. Shalom. I'd like to begin this lesson by giving all praise, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Forcha, Korash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who've taught us all this truth in the spirit. Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. I'm Shaquat, and I'm back here with another lesson. Lord willing to be edifying to the whole full elect. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Barakatham to you, sincere Akim Watham, and a sincere shalom to you, brothers that are out pushing this truth down the highways and the byways and through the YouTube lessons, man. Shalom to you all. Lord willing, this lesson be edifying and exhorting to you elect. It's what the nigga say, it's June! Ain't no microchip! It's June! And if you don't know what that is, that comes from an old quote that Bishop Nathaniel of the IUIC, stated some years back. It's been coming back to bite him in the ass every year since. As last year, as of 2025, June 2025, it's like as of June 2025, June was officially made the National Microchipping Month. So, yeah, look at that. It's also the gay month, though, Anyway, it's June, and a microchip, a RFID chip, is very apparent. We are at the time where this vision is speaking loudly. It's speaking very loud, and it's not lying. So we're going to start with going to Habakkuk, the second chapter. All right, this is Habakkuk, chapter 2, and we're going to jump straight to the point. And we'll start at 1. That's all right. Habakkuk 2:1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I. Our job is to be watchmen, right? So that's our duty. Is to watch. All right. As 2nd Ezra 9 says, measure thou the times diligently in itself. Truly we're supposed to be true analysts. You have data analysts, support analysts, all these different type of analyst positions in corporate or whatever field that you're in. We are the analysts of the Lord. We have to really analyze these situations. We have to watch, measure it. You understand? And these guys like the IUIC, ISUPK, Wi-Fi, etc., they're not doing that. Because we're in 2026. For you to still not think a RFID chip is possible, it's crazy, because not only is it possible, nigga, it's here. Fucking the majority of the population of Sweden is chipped up. Are you guys living under a rock? All right, so the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables. That's what we're doing. So we're not writing the vision, but we're proclaiming the vision at this point. And through that proclamation of the vision, we are making it plain upon tables through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Is no denying that the RFID chip is the mark of the beast. That he may run that readeth it. Okay. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. All right. That vision is yet for an appointed time. All right. And we're in that appointed time. Very soon, this thing will be mandated. It says, but at the end, and we are at the end, it shall speak and not lie. And this thing is not just speaking, it's screaming. This thing is screaming. The vision is screaming, and it's not lying. All right. There's no lie. This vision that the mark of the beast, the RFID chip, is just apparent. I mean, anytime you see an RFID chip in video going into humans, you have just a bunch of random worldly people as well as heathens, especially Edomites, talking about mark of the beast. This is the mark of the beast. So these randos can understand that. Even heathens, why the hell can't y'all? Well, because y'all took the bag, right? Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So it feels like it was tarrying, but we're at a point where the mark of the beast, that shit is not tarrying. This thing is about to come full throttle. You know, they might mandate this shit this year. We're only in the 6th month of the year. There's 6 more months after this, right? So we're only almost halfway through the year. It's 6 months is a lot of time. I know these 6 months flew, but 6 months is still a lot of time. So, hey man, the vision is screaming and not lying at this point in time. You understand? And another thing I want to get, because we're able to point out this vision, right? We're able to actually point this vision out. So we're going to go to 1 Corinthians 2:11. All right, it reads, lest Satan, which means the adversary, talking about the physical counterpart of Satan here on earth, Esau, Edom. All right, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. All right, we're not ignorant of this nigga's devices, man. His tools that he's going to use. Let's go to that word devices real quick and we're going to move on. All right. So thought, mind, mental perception, an evil purpose, that which thinks. All right, let's go down. Intellect, disposition, is self-devised mind, thought. So we're not ignorant of his evil purpose, because that's ultimately what the mark of the beast is. It's an evil purpose, because this devil, right, what is he seeking through this RFID chip? He's seeking to make himself like unto Yahweh. Actually, as Yuval Noah Harari has basically stated many times before, they're seeking to make themselves greater than Yahweh. Okay, because Yuval Noah Harari literally said multiple times, we can be greater than God. All right, God's only organic. We could be inorganic. We could surpass God. That's what the nigga said. Look it up. He said this some years back. Right, so we're not ignorant of this devil's devices, man. So Satan can't get an advantage over the elect. He may get one over on you people who are not of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. He may get over on you heathens, but he can't get over on the elect. All right, which we are the hopeful elect. He can't get over on us. All right, like it says in the book of Matthew 24, lest they shall deceive the very elect. The elect can't be deceived. The elect can't be caught up in the fuckery, in the sorceries. You won't catch us up in that. Lord willing, we have that number. But for you regular jakes and you heathens, you're going to be caught up in that 100%. All right, we are not ignorant of this devil's devices, man. We are nowhere near ignorant at all of this devil's devices. All right, of his evil plans. Like I said, let me go back to that. We're not ignorant of his evil purpose. This is an evil purpose. He's opposing himself against the Lord, and he wants to just control you people for an evil manner, for an evil work. So we're not ignorant of Satan's evil purposes, man. We're not ignorant of it. Okay, when you go over here to 1 Peter 5:8, it reads, be sober, be vigilant. So be conscious, be aware. All right, actually analyze, because your adversary, the devil, which means deceiver, slanderer, accuser, which is this so-called white man, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. And the fact that it says devil should show you the deception. He's looking to deceive you into what? Taking this chip, bound down to this system, all right, following his ways, subscribing to his way of life, his philosophy, all right, follow his lead. So you got to be vigilant. You got to be sober, because this nigga is seeking whom he can devour, man. All right, and this is very deadly serious. Very deadly serious. You understand? So, yeah, there you go. I think that's all I want to open up with. Let's make sure. Let me check. I believe I got all the ones I want to open with. Yes, I did. So we're going to get to the nitty gritty at this point. It's June, baby. So this video, all right, will be conducted under this right here. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyrights Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So I'm well within my rights to use these videos and these articles that I'm going to be bringing out. So first and foremost, let's just deal with these. All right. Now, before I play this, this nigga, he's just off, man. It's just something real off about this damn Jake. This nigga look like AI. He look like a bot. Nigga just look off. And if you don't recognize this Jake, because I recognize that I've been seeing a lot of these videos pop up on my For You page on Instagram this past couple of days. This Jake here, all right, I've been knowing about him for years because it's been in the talks since Neuralink's been in the talks that he was going to be the first person to get it right here. All right, get it in his head. And the vision of Revelation 13, as well as Revelation 20. He was been in talks, and now he officially has it implanted in him. Electronic implant questions. You understand? Now, it says community note written by Instagram user. This appears to be an AI generated skit by the user. In addition to general signs of AI, after a review of the user's profile, there are no poorly placed scars or evidence of healing from the implant. Any of the user's other skits. That said, Neuralink is a real company owned by Elon Musk, blah, blah, blah. And of course, yeah. Yep. Because like I said, this shit seems the AI. Now, who knows? This could be an AI generated video, but nonetheless, the vision is speaking loud, regardless, man. And this probably ain't AI, man. That's why you got to think about it. That's also part of Esau's deception. Though something may seem AI, they brought this to pass so it could deceive you, man, so it could keep everybody confused and not knowing what's real and what's fake. So just take it with a grain of salt. I'm not completely denying that it's AI. I mean, but it probably ain't. But nonetheless, something is just off about this nigga. This nigga just don't look right. And click on his account. I went through his Instagram, briefly yesterday. And you click on this guy's stuff, the nigga it's just something off about this guy. It's something real off about him. You understand? Regardless, like these are real videos of him, that are definitely real, nigga. He just don't even look, Jake just look through, man. He don't look right. I can't put my finger on why he look off, but hey, that I guess is what the chip would do to you, So let's play this. Do a little less talking. We're gonna play all this stuff.
No, I don't have any side effects.
Do you have any?
I don't have any.
Can you feel it?
I can't feel it. I was able to do it, and then I did it.
And how long did that take you?
That took me about a week.
And then you went home and
I practiced at home.
And so what do you think the biggest benefit of this is?
The biggest benefit is that it's going to help people with spinal cord injuries and people with Parkinson's disease and people with epilepsy and people with depression, anxiety, and all.
Going to help people with spinal cord. Let's play that part again. Salakia.
And do you have
It's probably the only one we're gonna really stop and break down a little bit. The rest we just gonna let play out,
any side effects?
No, I don't have any side effects.
Do you have any?
I don't have any.
Can you feel it?
I can't feel it. I was able to do it, and then I did it.
And how long did that take you?
That took me about a week.
And then you went home and
I practiced at home.
And so what do you think the biggest benefit of this is?
The biggest benefit is that it's going to help people.
And like I said, look, Mark of the Beast, he seems a little off, or it's just me. No soul behind them eyes,
People with spinal cord injuries and people.
It's here to help people with spinal cord injuries, right? So you got an injury that's paralyzed you. Well, you take this brain chip, you're not gonna be paralyzed anymore.
People with Parkinson's disease and
Parkinson's. All right. I kind of forget what's Parkinson's disease. I know that's kind of a disease that typically happens when people are up in age. So let me look that up real quick for my own sake, because I just forgot. Let me see, Parkinson's. Yeah, let's see. Well, it gave me the same thing. I thought I was gonna say something different. I didn't want to read all that. Right. So it kind of, that's what I thought. It kind of cripples you. It kind of paralyzes you in a sense. That's what I thought. So let's go back. I'm Salakia out there.
And people with epilepsy and
Epilepsy. Right now, epilepsy, which is another neurological disorder. All right. So just like Parkinson's, just another neurological disorder. So kind of something that could paralyze you.
people with depression, anxiety.
People with depression. So this can fix your depression. If you're depressed, this can fix it. If you have anxiety, you get nervous all the time. You're very, you're nervous. You have a lot of anxiety. Hey, you just take this chip. It's going to fix all of that. If you're paralyzed, we're going to fix that. All right.
Anxiety and all these different things. I could still move the mouse with my mind.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I had. It's actually pretty cool.
Is it like a chip?
It's a small chip, yeah.
So I'm curious about the device itself, the actual, how long did it take you to get used to it?
It was a process, it took a few months to really get comfortable with it, but now it's just part of me in my head.
Can you show us?
Can you show me where?
Right here. So the future is going to be amazing. We're going to be able to do so much more.
And do you have any side effects?
So let's pause there and get a precept. Okay. We're going to go right to Revelation 13, of course. Let's see where I want to jump in at. So we'll start at verse 11. We're going to read all the way through 18. The point being at 14 concerning this. So, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb and spake like a dragon. Spake as a dragon. So the two horns like a lamb, when you go into a lamb, it's a very docile and meek creature, a very humble creature, very sincere, humble, when you go into that two horns part, it's talking about the plebeians and patricians, all right, which is better known as today the Democrats and Republicans. So they're known as, so today they're two horns. They kind of go against each other. They're at odds. All right. They're at odds, but they act like they're sincerely at odds. Like the left goes in and fucks some shit up, and the right's supposed to come in and blame the left and then try to fix what they fucked up, but fuck it up worse. And then the left gets to blaming the right again. And like, we got to fix what you fucked up. We didn't fuck up. That ongoing everlasting battle, when ultimately these two horns are on the same team for the same agenda as they spake as a dragon. So they're being very cunning, deceptive, right? Very cunning and deceptive, because it's like they're sincerely going at each other, trying to do the right things, but they're really playing for the same team. That's what all that's going into, for the benefit of the forwarding of this new system that's to come. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, all right, which is talking about the ancient Roman Empire, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, all right, whose deadly wound was healed. So it's just doing what the ancient Roman Empire did, because this is the revived Roman Empire, all right? This is talking about Renaissance era period, post-Renaissance. Okay, not pre-Renaissance, post-Renaissance. It says, and he doeth great wonders. All right, is it not a great wonder? All right, what he's saying this chip will be, has he not done many other great wonders in the earth? But bombs, weapons, planes, etc. All these different great wonders in the earth, quote unquote, went to the moon, allegedly, right? So that he maketh fire to come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Now, what's this talking about? Missiles. It's talking about missiles, man. That's fire coming down from heaven onto the earth in the sight of men. Missiles, great wonders, man. and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. So these are quote unquote alleged miracles, man. You know, miracles. This dude said it could cure epilepsy, Parkinson's, right? It could cure depression, right? It can cure anxiety. All right, these are all things that are miraculous works. This is what Yahweh Shai was doing. He was healing the lame and the sick. He was healing them. You were lame. Basically, you like, you know, you're retarded. You have autism, some of that sort, severe autism, things of that, you know, nature. He was curing them. The sick, those who were paralyzed, you know, those who, you know, just had certain illnesses. Yahweh Shai was healing them. And then you also had some of Yahweh Shai's disciples healing people as well, bringing people back from the dead. That's what they're going to try to get to. And they're going to try to get toward where you can't die, where you won't die. You know, immortality. Like I said, they're trying to surpass the Heavenly Father. All right, so these are miraculous things he just named. All right, but that's how they're deceiving you. They're deceiving you by certain miracles that this is giving him power to do. Because you can't, if you put it in your hand, it's still the mark of the beast, but now you just basically turn it into a wallet. You turn it into a human wallet. When you put that thing in your brain, that's a whole different ballgame. That's when you could tap into the so-called miracles, right? It says, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by the sword and did live. All right, and it says, and he had power to give life. So that was the point, verse 14. That went with that video perfectly. All right, and it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast, and the image of the beast is talking about this system. So it goes into a plethora of things, because this system, all right, of the modern Roman Empire, which is made up of the EU and the NATO, all right, this is made up, and the chief of it being America. This system is broken down into many different parts. A lot of things go into the system. Like people may say AI is the image. No, AI is a part of the image, but it's not the image. The image is just the system as a whole. All right, this new system. All right, it says that the image of the beast should both speak and cause, and the image is speaking. What we start off with, Habakkuk 2 and 3. The image is speaking, man. That's the vision. That is the vision. All right, that's the vision that was spoken of in Habakkuk 2. And cause that as many as will now worship the image of the beast should be killed. Now, literally, yes, because you go to Revelation 20 and 4, it speaks about those being beheaded, those believers that have been beheaded for not, you know, worshiping the beast, bound the knee. You know, you got Romans 11. You know, going into the, you know, those certain believers that did not bow the image to Baal, you know, bow to the image, right? But this killed also goes into you just ultimately being exempt. I mean, eliminated, right? Exiled from society, right? You're just not going to be able to participate in society. It's like the Elder Ragabah always say, you know, Esau he gets down like that. He's not gonna make you do it, but he's gonna make you do it. You know, he's just gonna take everything. He's just gonna strip access to everything. But no, I'm not gonna make you do this. You don't have to take it, but you're just not gonna be able to do anything without it. So basically forcing you to have to take it. That's how this devil gets down. He's a great dragon. All right, great dragon. Okay, so if you don't partake in this, you're going to be basically a pilgrim in the earth. All right. You're going to be exiled from society. You're not going to be a part of society anymore. You're going to be ultimately off grid. All right. Unaccounted for. You're not going to have the ability to work. You're not going to have the ability to travel. You're not going to have the ability to own a home or live in an apartment or whatever. You're not going to have access to these things. You know, it says that he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. When you go into that word mark in the Greek, is charagma, in their right hand or in their foreheads. And when you go to Revelation 20 and 4, it says hands. So it ain't just the right hand. It can be your left hand too. It could be your forearm, but typically you're going to get it right between your damn thumb and your pointer finger. You're going to get right in between there. typically, or in your forehead, which is talking about your brain. Okay. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that hath a mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So you're not going to be able to participate in society. See, that's to be killed. You're literally not going to be able to participate in society. All right. Unless you have the mark of the beast. Here's wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. And his number is 666. So 666, which what does that represent? The number of carnality. All right. So here it is. You got niggas talking about the mark of the beast is a spiritual mark, but yet the barcode of the mark of the beast, all right, is basically, it is 666, which is literally the number of carnality. So how the hell is it based off the number of carnality, represented by the number of carnality, but it's a spiritual thing? No, this is physical. And like I said, when you go into that word mark in the Greek, it's charagma, which means physical mark. All right, physical. All right, so that's all I want to get concerning that. All right, let's get one more. 18 and 23. So it says Revelation 18 and 23. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. And for thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. So this devil deceives by way of sorceries, which was going into what? His philosophies, deceits. And when you go into that sorceries, let's go there. Goodness gracious. Slovakia. Here we go. It goes into the word pharmakeia, which is where you get pharmacy or pharmaceutical. It goes back to that. So it says the use or the administering of drugs, poisoning, sorcery, magical arts, often found in connection with idolatry and fostered by it. All right. So they're going to make this an idolatrous thing. Hey, this is going to make you like a god. You're no longer going to be, a mere human. You're going to be like a god, right? Hey, you're going to be able to walk again. A magical act, a miracle. All right. Miracle and magical goes hand in hand. The difference is a miracle works on the right hand side. So they're using right hand. They're acting like they're coming with the right hand, but they're really the left, right? But a miracle, hey, you get to walk again. If you're paralyzed, you could walk again. You can move again. You can work out again. Hey, if your rod never worked, shit, hey, your rod gonna work better than it's ever worked before. Better than it's ever worked before. You're gonna be able to do all these different things. If you're depressed, you're never gonna be depressed again. If you have anxiety, that's never gonna happen again. Hey, just take the chip. Making it like an idol. All right, which this is gonna be you basically worshiping the beast. This is why I keep saying worshiping the beast in his image. All right, and you're making the beast, if you take that chip, you're making the beast an idol to you, your idol, instead of relying on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, right? And this would be considered a drug and poison. All right, when you go earlier in the book of Revelation, it speaks about that noisome pestilence, that noisome sore, and it's going to be on your hand when you get this shit. You have a cancer. This is not medical information, right? So there you go. That's all I want to get concerning that. Let's play through these other ones, and we're gonna grab these last few precepts and close it off. All right, I'm gonna let them play out.
Not like what you see.
That's so scary. It's real, bro. Honestly, it's real. But yo, how do you do that?
Yo, come check out Dude's eye, man. It's just crazy. Oh my God. Did you see that? Oh my God. Did you see that?
Oh my God! Did you see?
Crazy. Oh.
Hey, shit crazy. So you have this right here, winning the 6G race, all right? I'm gonna have this here so you can read this, but it says, well, I'll read it. The next generation of the mobile communications network, 6G, and they're talking about 7G now too, will be foundational to the national security, foreign policy, and economic prosperity of the United States. This technology will play a pivotal role in the development and adoption of emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, robotics, and implantable technologies. Now, what did Trump say a few months back? The nigga said, "Oh, what's up with this 6G? What is it going to do? Be able to see under your skin?" Trying to say it in a joking manner, but he was dead ass. You know, there are truths hidden in jokes. All right, truths are hidden within jokes. He said that a few months back concerning these 6G shit. 6G will also provide faster, more resilient, and more secure, and then it goes on. All right. So there you go. You know, you can read over here. All right. It says the Bible warns of a coming system of control and revelation where buying, selling, and allegiance will be directly connected to a global structure unlike anything in history has seen. The question is not whether technology is evil, but how far humanity is willing to go without questioning where it ultimately leads. You know, you can read through this on your own time. You know, Elon Musk says brain chip implants could soon give humans godlike powers.
You know, I think some kind of brain machine interface that can give you cybernetic superpowers, I think, is probably good. It could, help people that have brain or spine injuries. Restore, enable people who've never spoken for years to speak again, which we've done. Give people eyesight who have lost both eyes or the optic nerve, or maybe have never even seen at all, blind from birth, by direct interface to the optical centers in the brain. You can actually restore eyesight or give people eyesight that they've never had before, and you can enable people to walk again, which I think is profound. I mean, these are kind of Jesus level things, like let's say like when technologies are hitting like Jesus level miracles, that's pretty good,
So there you go. Miracles, man. It goes right with the precepts we've been bringing out. Prophecy is screaming, and you still have guys not admitting to the mark of the beast made RFID chip. Why? Because they are paid off. At this point, nigga, you're not stupid, you're paid off. And if you paid off, nigga, you is stupid. Here's another one. Elon Musk says Neuralink will let users download an NBA player's jump shot into muscle memory by 2028. That shit crazy. All right. That was just a funny one. Microchips could be put under prisoner skin. So they're going to start with testing you prisoners. And they're going to say, ultimatum, hey, if you take this RFID chip, let us put it in your brain, let us put it in your hand or whatever. Hey, we're going to be able to track you, etc. So we're going to release you from prison. So this is your get out of jail free card, literally. That's how they're going to promote it to them first. Microchips should be or could be put under prisoner skins to track them. Tech bosses tell prison minister. The brother put over here. Slovakia. Microchips could be inserted under the skin of offenders to track their movements. Tech bosses have suggested. The proposal was put forward by tech bosses as a way of monitoring prisoners in real time and around the clock. The idea was suggested as part of a roundtable event with the prison's minister, Lord Timpson. Maybe he meant Thompson. I don't know. And representatives from tech firms. Other ideas put forward included driverless prison vans and robot-run jails. And they already have driverless cars. Tesla and all them other electric vehicles. You have the electric vehicles that that you see downtown. I forgot what they call them, but where it'll pick you up like a Uber or something and drive you around with nobody driving. So yeah, man, this shit screaming, goddamn me, shit, this shit screaming. This shit is screaming, and we're coming into a time where this is being made manifest. All right, everybody will be tested. This is Revelation 3:10. Because thou hast kept the words of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. The hour of temptation is when they mandate the RFID chip, not when they implement it, not when they, start putting it, conditioning you by it being placed in the media. No, when they mandate it, that's the test. When they make it to where you cannot survive and participate in society unless you take it, that's when the test begins. That's the test. All right, and that's the time that we're coming into here very shortly. All right. And I'll just do a part 2 on this. So I do hope and pray that this is edifying to the elect. I'm going to close giving all praise, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Merchak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us all this truth in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And until next time, Abba Bo, Kwame Yasharala, Gadol Abadiam, Lababo Hagadol, Yahweh Mahar, Wahabathum. And until next time, I would like to say unto you all, Shalom. The water Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai.